You were born as a tuning fork in a symphony that never stops playing. Every thought, every belief, every word you repeat to yourself is a note vibrating to the electric field that we call consciousness. I could tell you, your body's an orchestra of 50 trillion musicians. Cells, each one listening to the frequency that you emit through your mind. And the strange part, most of the time, the conductor's asleep. For 95% of your day, your mind runs on autopilot. Loops, habits, inherited recordings. Not evil, not broken, just lazy efficiency. Your subconscious is like a self-driving car built by your ancestors, your parents, your culture. It memorized how to avoid pain and seek approval long before you knew that you were steering. And every time you said, I can't, I shouldn't, I'm not enough, the autopilot quietly logged another route. It learned that fear equals safety, that conformity equals love. That's not sin, it's adaptation. Identical cells placed in different environments became bone, muscle or fat. Not because of their genes, but because of the chemical soup that they swim in. Change the environment, you change the destiny. So now scale that up. Your beliefs, they're the chemistry of your consciousness. They bathe every cell in the emotional molecules of their assumption. Fear creates one chemistry, love another. That's not mysticism, that's biology. The observer and the observed, they're one harmonic system. The electric field collapses into form through attention. When you focus on lack, your field contracts. When you focus on possibility, your field expands. That expansion is an abstraction. It's voltage, coherence, measurable life force. So the first reframe. You're not a victim of your programming. You're the programmer who forgot where the keyboard is. Imagine a triangle. The triangle is thought itself. Projection, reception, resolution. One side pushes, intention. One side receives, perception. And where they meet, form appears. And every time you believe something strongly enough, you collapse the triangle into matter. Thoughts are not clouds, they're architecture. They spin into the torus of your electromagnetic field, and that field interacts with every other field around you. It's why you can walk into a room and feel tension without a word spoken. Your unconscious programs broadcast through the electric field before your mouth can censor them. In an LP, it's called state. Your state drives your behaviour more powerfully than logic ever will. Change your state, and the strategy rewrites itself. So here's the pivot. Stop arguing with your programs. Don't fight the thought, I'm unworthy. Ask it, what are you trying to protect me from? Because every destructive program was once an attempt at love. Maybe the child learned that shrinking earned safety. Maybe silence was peace. Maybe needing nothing was the only way to keep the family from collapsing. Those programs aren't your enemies. They're outdated security guards still standing at the gates of a city you've already built. You don't fire them. You retrain them. The unconscious doesn't speak English. It speaks repetition, image and emotion. That's why affirmations like, I'll be abundant, they don't work. Because the verb will be tells the subconscious not yet. It loops the lack. But when you say, I'm abundant repeatedly, while feeling the vibration of that truth, the cells start listening. The petri dish changes. We can call it signal transduction. We can call it field recursion. Your body calls it health. Different names, same geometry. Ericksonian reframing teaches you don't confront resistance. You join it and lead it. So when your mind says, I can't, you nod and whisper, you're right, for now. That little sleight of mouth, it opens a crack. Then you slip in. And as I learn, that will change. The unconscious loves that. It gets to keep its dignity while updating its code. Every belief follows this loop. Awareness, acceptance, alignment, action, assimilation. You can remember it as breathing through geometry. Inhale awareness. Hold acceptance. Exhale alignment. Rest assimilation. That rhythm, it entrains the nervous system and it rewrites the pattern. We can call this a harmonic recursion loop. Every breath you take is a chance to realign with the electric coherence of life itself. You're literally resynchronizing your waveform. Civilization itself runs on collective hypnosis, media, schooling, advertising. They build neural habits that favour obedience over originality. They hijack the same subconscious channels. And the great joke, the lock is made of your attention. Attention is currency. Where it goes, energy flows. Chemistry follows. Matter forms. So when you scroll through fear all day, you become the resonance of fear. When you breathe into gratitude, you become the frequency of growth. That's why societies decay when their stories decay. Coherence equals sovereignty. When awareness collapses into division, the waveform decoheres. Translation: a civilization that forgets its unity starts eating its own nervous system. You fix that, not by fighting it, but by withdrawing permission from the noise. You reclaim attention as sacred. Every time you drop into presence, you unplug from the collective trance. The pattern interrupt, waking the dreamer. Erickson called it confusion leading to openness. I'll call it what it feels like, the slap that wakes the dreamer. When you catch yourself looping, worrying, self-hating, scrolling, you pause. Say stop out loud if you can. Laugh if possible. Humour. It's neurochemical alchemy. It floods the brain with dopamine and serotonin, instantly changing your state. Then ask, is this thought helping my field harmonise or fragment? If it's fragmentation, breathe until you feel coherence return. You don't need to fix the past. You need to stop rehearsing it. Let's integrate this one more time. Environment controls gene expression through perception. Consciousness controls matter through harmonic collapse. Together, your perception is the environment that your cells live in. So if you believe life is hostile, your cells armour up. If you believe life is supportive, your cells open, communicate, repair. That's not metaphor. That's measurable immune response. And the geometry behind it. Every thought is a waveform. Constructive interference builds coherence, health, clarity. Destructive interference cancels energy, fatigue, disease. Every time you choose love over fear, you literally change the interference pattern of your body's field. That's the physics of prayer, the science of gratitude, the math of miracles. Now, in NLP modelling, installation happens by association and repetition. So think of a child learning to walk, falling, laughing, tries again, no shame, no analysis, just feedback and adjustment. That's how the unconscious learns. So begin small, notice a limiting belief, thank it, translate it. Example, I'm not safe. Ask, what safety do I need to feel in order to grow? Then reframe, I'm safe enough to learn. Repeat it while breathing evenly, because breath is the carrier wave of command. Your cells listen to the rhythm more than words. I'm safe enough to learn. Coherence is achieved not through force, but through phase alignment. You can't shout a dissonant note into harmony. You tune it gently, repeatedly, until it sings. So why does this matter beyond your own skin? Because your field contributes to the collective waveform. Every coherent mind strengthens the resonance of the whole. Civilizations heal one nervous system at a time. Planetary chaos, a species acting from survival programming, in a world that demands conscious cooperation. Chaos precedes harmonic reorganization. We're not falling apart, we're tuning up. But tuning hurts when you're attached to the old frequency. So your reprogramming isn't selfish, it's service. You become a stable oscillator in a noisy world. When you walk into a room, people's breath changes, not because you dominate, but because your coherence invites theirs. That's the real influence, the kind that requires no words. Speak affirmations in present tense. I'm peace, I'm capable, I'm awake. Pair them with physical anchors, touch your heart, breathe out slowly. When fear arises, smile slightly. The tiny act sends a feedback loop of safety through the vagus nerve. Before sleep, review your day, not for failure, but for frequency. Where was I most alive? Where did I disconnect? Tomorrow, repeat the alive moments more often. That's neuroplasticity in action, learning. The mind is a musician practicing a new melody until it becomes muscle memory. Every universe, from atom to cosmos, runs on recursion, the pattern that feeds itself. Call it the fifth dimensional mirror. Call it the learning unconscious. Call it evolution through awareness. Same truth, different dialects. You're the field observing itself. The moment you see the program, the mirror changes. You're no longer trapped in it, you're tuning it. So maybe take this not as doctrine, but as experiment. Test it in your life. When you catch an old loop, laugh. When you feel fear, breathe it into curiosity. When you hear the world screaming chaos, whisper coherence. Remember, you're not in the world, you are the world, collapsed into form, remembering itself through light. And every time you breathe consciously, you rewrite the code.